Do you struggle with knee issues? Here's some considerations when you're doing squats.
Welcome back everybody to this week's edition of 2 Minute Tuesdays. Now this week we're talking to those of you who may be exercising at home and doing one of the more common exercises that can be done at home, which is different variations of squats. Sometimes this can bother people's knees, and we have some ideas as far as things that you can do while working out at home to make sure squats don't bother your knees.
Our first tip is to use no motion or very little motion. Sometimes when you're doing squats, people notice that there's a certain part of the range that bothers their knee. Usually it's at the bottom. So if while you're doing this squat, you slowly start squatting, and I want you to stop and freeze before you get to a place of discomfort or pain. At that spot, you can go ahead and hold, and that can be your working place. Now, you can also be doing small pulsing type motion at that bottom range that is not painful. Maybe 2-3 inches up and down, always using control, but this will help eliminate that range that is uncomfortable for you.
Tip number 2, put more of the emphasis of the exercise on your glutes and less on your quads. One way to go about doing this is to focus on trying to pull your feet apart or slide your feet apart while you're doing the squatting motion versus not thinking about that. What that's actually going to do is it will force your glutes to engage more as you think about trying to slide your feet apart, and will get you to use your glutes more, putting more of an emphasis on your hips and less of an emphasis on your quadriceps and on your knees. This may help to reduce some of the stress that your knees typically experience while doing a squat, and can help make a squat feel more comfortable for you.
Tip number 3. This one is a surpriser for a lot of people. Try to avoid wall squats. Wall squats create a very unique scenario where you're using the floor as a lot of friction. So when you're doing a wall squat, you'll normally feel your feet or your shoes kind of trying to slide outwards, and because they're not sliding outwards, tells you that there's a frictional force directing in towards your body. What that means in a nutshell is that it's going to be a lot more stressful on your knee joint. So if you are already struggling with knee issues when you squat, be really mindful to avoid wall squats, even more so than air squats.
Check out an expanded version of this on our blog, and tune in next week Tuesday for another 2 Minute Topic.